pull up bare. I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kind of patient, 'cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. And grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins.
What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome. We are live. It is Saturday, and we're just going to have some fun talking about some fun stuff. I'm here with Rob. Big Dev, Big Cheese, Big Boss of Cornucopias. Got a fresh, clean cut, ready to go. He did it all for this live stream, just for you guys, just so you know. What's going on, man? Welcome.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been a short while, but it's been good.
It has been a while.
Our community, I've been talking about you.
I've been getting a lot of messages. People asking me when I'm coming to the Corn Guild and living it up. And well, you know, they recruited me like years ago, but then they started doing something with some kind of DAO or whatever, and I was just like, I don't know what this is supposed to be, a game guild. I don't get all this, and then I just got really wrapped up and busy with other stuff, and not to say there's anything wrong with what they're doing. I just didn't get it. I didn't understand exactly what they were trying to achieve when the game's not even launched yet. This was years ago, so. But hey, man, I always tell people, you know, intelligence can be measured by one's foresight. So maybe they saw a lot of things that I just wasn't seeing.
Yeah, I mean, the community is quite vast. So the community quite early on created their own communities. You know, some of the guilds, we've got quite a few in there, but you don't have to join a guild. You can.
I'm such a loner. You know, yeah. I've like ran guilds in like EverQuest 2 back in the day. I had a little guild in Ultima Online back in the day. We were like a mercenary assassins group back in Ultima Online. We would pop in a portal with these DP blades and like shank a dude and then go back in our portal, and people would pay us to do that to like enemies or people that ripped them off. And it was fun back then. We were like the Avengers.
I think the main lesson really, whether you join guilds or not, or whether you just join, I think it's you know, the modern gaming, especially for a multiplayer game like ours, it's all about the community. So whether you just come and play with the community, but when you're going around doing stuff in a game, it can be fun. Mm-hmm. But when you're doing raids with some of the communities, you know, if you're just there, look, I've just got half an hour. Can anyone come and join me? That takes it to a whole new level when you're playing with your mates.
Are there going to be raid-like things going on in Cornucopias?
I mean, this year, yeah, definitely.
Really?
In a build coming up this year, we have combat at the moment, which we've just introduced, where we have rifles and we have guns and there's a few shooting ranges. We're actually having these big rifts that are just going to open up randomly within the maps. These robots are going to come out, and then they all come in different shapes and sizes, and we've shared some images of those. And yeah, you want some of these you won't be able to take on your own. You'll have to go with a few gang of people.
Interesting. Yeah, that's the raids and things like that are always good for guilds to be in a guild. The problem is that I'm never one to like fall in line. Well, you know what? I shouldn't say that. I played EVE Online religiously for like a couple of years. And you have to fall in line, like your ship builds, things like that. Everything's calculated, measured out on spreadsheets and shit before you hit.
Yeah, they do that.
Oh yeah, dude. And I was in deep. I was so addicted. My account's still leveling up. I haven't played the game in probably a year and a half, maybe 2 years. And my character, I think, has something like 90 to close to 100 million skill points, dude. And my kill board in that game is sick. Like we're just. Yeah, it's like my character is one of those characters where if I fly into a place by myself, everybody sends me messages like, "Hey, man, how you doing?" Because they're all afraid I'm gonna like blow their shit up. Yeah, it's kind of funny. I know Charles Hoskinson played EVE Online too at one point, but I don't know if he's on my kill board. It'd be funny as hell though if we were like on each other somehow.
I mean, I remember him saying about a year ago he was going to start doing live streams of games. He's not started that yet, but yeah, he'll definitely be welcome in the corn.
Well, it's funny. So he had messaged on X how he wanted to do an interview soon, and typically he says that, but then it doesn't happen for a while. It could be like a year later we end up doing it. So I actually reached out and I emailed him and some of the people on his team, and he's like, yeah, let's get this on the books, right? So I'm like, okay, so he's definitely serious. He wants to do it. And so then I started going back and forth a little bit, and they're like, well, we can either do it at 4 a.m. because he's in Mongolia now, and or like we could do it when he comes back like the week of the 13th or whatever. And I'm like, all right, let's just do it that week, because I think I would be useless at 4 a.m. I'm not the man I used to be. But he's just so busy, man, and like he's just all over the place, and I can't imagine him live streaming games unless it's like, I don't know, unless he's trying to like catch up to Elon. He's like, okay, here's a billionaire who's like live streaming Path of Exile 2.
Yeah,
I can do this, because I know he's a gamer at heart. I
mean, if you're a billionaire, you've got a couple of choices. You either buy like a football club, or you live stream games.
Yeah, I would rather live stream games. It's less stressful. I have a dream, man. Like if Cardano gets to where I want it to be, I am launching my own game studio. There is a game that I want to build. I've been wanting to build for years and years, and it's like I have all these ideas, and I just want to bring them to life so bad. And yeah, it's like I would love to see like a blend between like Ultima Online and Kingdom Come Deliverance too, or just Kingdom Come Deliverance.
So it's not a small game then, just a large game like ours.
Well, but it's like there are ideas that I have on how I want to do it, so that it's not necessarily like a big MMORPG. It's more of a single player game, but there are ways of bringing people together, and it's just like a whole anyway. We'll see. It'll probably never happen, but it's something that I've always wanted to do. So, dude, I just claimed some land in Cornucopias, man. Very nice. Better get what I want.
Well, I mean, you've put a claim down. You've not actually claimed it yet, because that doesn't.
I put a claim down. Yes, I stuck my flag in the dirt, but somebody else might pull it up. Explain to me how this system works so that everybody knows, because I'm seeing people in the chat like, just claimed my land last night, just claimed my land. Yeah. So, and it's like, well, I did too, but it's not guaranteed. And that kind of plays into the level of NFT you got, right? Whether it was a common, uncommon, a mythic, a legendary. I think I had two mythic large. And so, and to be on the safe side, is it like a random draw amongst the people with the same tiered NFT, or is it like first come?
I mean, it can be. So this first event is for all the land in Solace. So we've got 3 huge 8-kilometer by 8-kilometer worlds, and between those 3 worlds, there's 8,000 land plots. So we sold 24,000 NFTs. So this is for the first zone, which we're calling Solace. We also have Esperanza that's coming next, and then Fortuna in the future. But this is for Solace. So the way it works is everybody who bought one of these NFTs, depending on the mint, they either minted a common, an uncommon, a rare, a legendary, or a mythic. It was completely random. You didn't know what you were going to get. So everybody had a chance of getting a mythic or a legendary. And so now what you do is you can go, it's all via the web. So you can do it on best experience is on a browser, but you can potentially do it on a mobile as well. So you link your wallet with your NFTs to your Cornucopias account, and then you can go around the map online. If you've got access to the game, you can go in the game and you can have a look what the actual land plot will look in the game. But you go online, and then yes, you kind of favorite or put your claim down on a particular land, and it works in terms of rarities. So anybody, yes, if you click on pending claims there, for example, you'll be able to see how many people want that particular land plot. So we see we've got two rare NFTs have been put on it, 5 uncommons and 19 commons. So that's quite a popular land. Only one of those will win it, and it will go down in terms of rarity. However, because the land plots are being kind of drawn in order, what it could mean is that by the time this land plot comes, those 2 rares at the top, they may have already been allocated to other land. So those uncommons, then they get a potential. It's
because
just,
the people that own these 2 rares may have put a claim in on 10 other properties, and they might get those before they get
use your NFT and put a claim on as many land plots as you want, depending on the size of it. So this will either be a small land plot. We're looking at it. You clicked on an epic, so this is an epic. So we got small, medium, large, epic, and copious. So that's the 4th largest size. Yeah. So you're in Riverbend there.
I love how you guys included photos from the land.
Well, we want to be as inclusive as possible, and we know that not everybody has access to the game, but even if you do have access to the game, you know, having a look at 8,000 land plots running around in game is going to take a little bit of time. So that's why we created this really cool
because some of them you can see what the view is like.
Yeah, on all of them. On all.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you're on the edge, you can see like, oh wow, there's a custom dome.
Yeah,
that's probably
that's Solace 2.
Right?
You've got a view to Solace 2 from this one.
Oh, that's Solace 2. Okay, yeah. I was gonna say, because that looks like my custom dome. That's coming.
No, your custom dome is further on.
It's further on. Okay, nobody's gonna see it from their land plots. No, I'm just gonna be out in space. So, but yeah, I thought that was really clever how you guys are doing this, and I was trying to figure out, like, what would be the most central locations for me to have the most presence within like the community of that particular area, blah blah blah. And then I'm like, oh, I don't know, maybe I want a river view or a lake view, or so I actually put in a claim on like 5 different plots, land plots, all in Solace 1, or if you on the top all
left,
of it on Solace 1.
Yeah, because there's Solace 2 as well, Solace 3. Although they use the same artwork in the game, they are completely different. All these worlds were hand built. Like Solace 1, for example, the very first world, when we were figuring out how we were going to do it, that particular world took 18 months to build. That was a real labor of love to figure out the technology. And then Solace 2 and Solace 3, they only took a couple of months, but we were getting faster every time. But yeah, the Solace 1, I think, is my favorite, because obviously
you guys didn't do like procedural generation with any of this, right?
No, we use a little bit for maybe drawing some of the pebbles on the floor, but yeah, all the land, the hills, the rivers, the lakes, the roads, the posts, everything that you see in game, it is handcrafted and hand placed.
And now I just got my hands on this, which is, it basically explains like why own land. And I didn't even realize there were as many benefits associated with owning land. I knew there were going to be some, but I didn't know specifically what exactly they were. And there's just a lot here. Like, people watching this, if you're not on the website, you can when you watch it back, you can pause it and read through some of this stuff, man. I mean, this is crazy. I mean, you're effectively going to have, and the only thing that sucked is like the land claim doesn't tell you like what resources are going to be on the land or anything.
Well, they'll change. I mean, it's a living, evolving world. You know, as the law becomes more you know, as it's more revealed, the lore of Cornucopias and all the other things that are happening, like I say, with rifts coming in, why are robots coming through these rifts, as they evolve over the years, and just like in the natural world, you know, people will be in these districts and within these towns, and they will be voting for, you know, look, getting from here to here is actually quite slow. Can we have a bridge there, or can we have something here or something there? So over time they will be voting, and then we will be building up the land depending on what the community want in their local districts. So it's going to be an evolving community effort, how these worlds evolve.
Do you remember, it's been a while, do you remember one of the ideas that I was trying to push on you guys like years ago? Do you remember what that was?
I mean, you've had many. I know you want to manufacture your own robots.
Yes, I do. Am I going to be able to be a droid engineer at any point in this?
It's possible. We definitely take on lots of ideas.
Because I've noticed that when I first started talking about it, there were no robots in Cornucopias. Now there are robots. And I'm thinking, am I going to be able to like build or repair some of these robots? Is there going to be like a player kind of thing? Because honest to God, that was some of the most fun I've ever had in an MMO. Next to Ultima Online, which is like to this day is like the best of the best in my opinion. Just in terms of like playability, functionality, what you could do, like the rare system, how all that worked, everything. It always brought you back the next day because you're whatever you were doing. And I'm just like, being a droid engineer was such a big deal for me back in the day on Star Wars Galaxies before SOE totally ruined everything. Yep. I mean, and I'm like, man, if you could do some shit like that in Cornucopias, I'm going to have to like tell my wife, like not to expect.
Well, I mean, to begin with, the droids, they're coming through from different universes. So they're not really friendly droids. They're coming to try and kill you. But, over time, they are leaving parts behind them. You never know that those pieces
those robots that are coming up and scanning me in the city, they're what are they?
No, they're actually security droids.
Oh, okay.
Because some parts of the game, there might be a bit of nefarious activity that's going on. So if those are seen, though, those security droids are there to keep the peace.
Okay, I see. All right. This is going to be nuts, man. So everybody's putting their claims down for their land. How long until we know who got what? So
that's happening next week. So that will start. That it will last over about 5.5 days, and we actually have like a live clock. You'll be able to see the land plots go from 1 to 8,000. I think it's every minute we move on to the next one. So you'll be able to see who got that land plot, and then obviously those NFTs are then taken off or the land plot. If you put your NFT on, let's say 5 or 6 different land plots, if you win one, then obviously they're going to go down. So we have one land plot which seems to be quite popular that has 19 mythic claims on it. So clearly only one of those mythics will win that.
It has to be. I would have to assume that's in like a guild, like everybody in the guild. Somebody said something in a guild like, I'm going to get this one because, and then everybody's like, that's a good idea.
Maybe, or they might have just been watching your stream and they thought, well, if Crow wants that land plot, we're going to get it off him.
Oh, I should.
And then we'll hold it to ransom.
You know what? Damn it! I'm going to check, because if these sons of guns did that to me, I'm gonna say, okay, I'm gonna make you guys regret that somehow. I'm like legitimately going to check my damn land. So I see my land, your land. I don't have any. My claims, I've got 6 or 7. Okay. Let's see. This one, pending claims. I mean, there's definitely a lot on that one, but they're mostly rares. So there's, damn, people. All right. So I can see I've got competition, that's for sure. What about this one? Real quick, I have to check now because you said something and you're freaking me out. That one looks okay. I'll probably end up getting that one. And that's why I didn't want to like live stream and show. Oh shit. Okay. You know what, people?
It's been discovered.
Oh my God.
Did they do that to you? Did they snipe you? Or are they trying?
You know what? This is crazy. All right, look. So this is just one of them.
8.
There are.
Oh, you go. You got a 2 in 8 chance.
Yeah, well, and then you got all these legendaries.
But actually, this is where the rarity comes in. So, because there's more than one mythic on there, what will happen is other land claims are happening. But by the time it comes to this land plot, let's say all those 8 mythics are still active, then the random draw will be between those 8. So it does the legendaries, the commons, the rares, those are just ignored. So round 1 is with the mythics. But if there is no mythics, then the same will happen with the legendaries and then the rares and lower on. So it really depends when it comes to your land plot, whether there's any claims left.
Yeah.
I mean, if you want, this might be a tip. I don't know. No land plot selection advice coming up here. But by the time we get to Solace 3, for example, a lot of the land plots might have already been claimed. So you might have a higher chance of getting the land plot that you want in say Solace 3 than maybe Solace 1. But I mean, that I could be completely wrong. I haven't looked at where people are claiming. It's just how
I'm actually curious to see real quick, because people are saying prices have spiked on
secondary market. Yeah, I mean, we sold out 24,000 NFTs a few years ago. And we sold them in the different sizes, the 5 different sizes, and every one of those sales, they sold out in 1 minute or less, which was just
oh, dude, I know.
crazy.
I was bitching about it. I'm like, listen, every time I hear something,
yeah,
I can't get my hands on anything because everything's gone in 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So legendary large, those are going for like basically what amounts to about, I mean, $1,000 right now.
Really? Wow.
Yeah, I mean, you're talking 1,320 ADA, and that's the cheapest. And then you start getting into mythics, and these mythics are going for the cheapest mythic large now is about 4,400 ADA.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, of course, when everybody minted them, anybody could have got a mythic because it was completely random.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. See, that's why
completely fair.
I think, yeah, it was fair. I mean, the most expensive one. So I'm seeing a large legendary for 200,000 ADA. Oh shit, that's funny. But they're limited, man. Like there aren't a lot available, which is why they're like, if you want land, you're paying for it. Average price is between 5,000 and 6,000 for large mythics.
What percentage are for sale? Because I always like to look at that to see the interest, and it's amazing that just scroll up a little bit, just scroll up to the top. So if you look at that, 3.4% listed. That's it. Everybody else is holding their NFTs, which I think is pretty. Out of 24,000, that's pretty incredible. That just shows, that the community do believe in us, that we will deliver, and they're seeing it, because we show up
these years to see the progress you guys have been making. It's been. I mean, dude, and like I know that the big gripe with some people is like every time you turn around, they're selling another NFT, and I'm like, but how else do you think they're getting the fucking money to build this daggone huge AAA?
But some of them are like 2 ADA or 10 ADA to test the systems as we go along. So we explain all that to the community.
Right. I don't. I get it because I know what it cost. I mean, think about it. How much was spent building some of the basic MMORPGs out there, let alone like what was it, $75 million to build World of Warcraft back then? And it's just like, this is a huge undertaking with blockchain integration, no less. So you've got a whole other layer associated with this that none of these other major games had to deal with or try to work through. So, and this is like real ownership. This is NFT integrated ownership of everything that you basically have in the game. This is almost like taking World of Warcraft and Entropia Universe and putting it together. And so,
and the thing is with those games, when you could go into a server and you could see a plot of land, and you could build on that, or you could get a house within there. And then if it got a little bit too busy, you could then go into another server on the same plot of land, and the world would look completely different because the different servers are, playing independently. Whereas within Cornucopias, your land plot is replicated across all the different servers, all the different sessions. So only you own that plot across the entire ecosystem, and only you can change it. And then your changes will be reflected across the entire. So you are. At the moment, technology means we are limited to so many people per server, But in the future, especially when technology like UE6 comes out and you're allowed hundreds of thousands of people in one server, one session, you know, that's more like a true metaverse. But at the moment, yeah, your one LAN plot is across the entire ecosystem.
Well, and I think that, and I'm probably going to bring up Entropia a lot. Like, I played Entropia Universe for probably 6 months. And for those that don't know, like, Entropia was, I mean, it started off looking terrible when it launched, but the entire game is built on a real cash economy. So everything from the bullets you use to hunt, I mean, everything degraded over time, everything costs real money. And granted, a lot of that game is structured almost like being a lottery system in a way. You know, you're going out, you're trying to hunt all these animals, and you know, anytime somebody killed something with a big valuable drop, like a little thing would pop up on the windows of everyone playing the game, almost like you walk through a casino. Somebody hits a jackpot and like all the lights goes off and everything. Ah, look at this person. Look at what they just did. Right. It's kind of how Entropia is set up. But the value of things and I haven't played in forever. I don't even know. I remember the big story back when I was playing was the guy named was it Do or Die or something like that. He was the first person. He bought this asteroid for like $400,000. And within a year, he was turning that into 7-figure profitability. Right. Really? Wow. Yes. It was
people coming to mine it.
People coming to mine it. He put like nightclubs and shit, so people would go and socialize and hang out and just all sorts of stuff. People would go hunt. That's the thing. Like in that game, if you owned land in that game, you could charge people real cash for those who wanted to hunt the animals that spawned in that area. So people would pay hunting fees to come into your land. Otherwise, you can't access it. And there's so much to it. And I'm thinking to myself, I remember a guy, he was telling me about these ships that he bought. I think he paid, I don't know, at the time, I think he paid like $100 a piece. And what they were ships that take you off world onto like asteroids or other locations, other planets. Oh, yeah. And people have to pay a real ticket fee. Mm-hmm. And when I played, those ships were worth $10,000 at the time. Wow. I don't even know what they're worth now. So it's like these kinds of things are, I mean, extremely valuable. I actually started a business. I played the game for like a month, learned kind of how everything worked. Then I started a brokerage business where I would auction off and sell people who were leaving the game. I would handle their liquidation, right? And I played that game for about 6 months. I ended up having a guy hire me. He was this German guy who started playing in the early days, had a whole house full of all kinds of shit. He hired me because I was one of the only people that did it that had an actual video of me talking about what I would do. And he hired me. He's like, you're putting your face out there. I trust you. And it went really well, man. I think I made like $3,000 or $4,000 real cash just in commissions. Wow. Auctioning off and selling all his stuff. It ended up being like an $80,000 liquidation sale. And the reason I'm bringing that up is because now we have something akin to that, but all through like NFT based ownership and easy transferability, because back then transferring things from one person to another, a lot of that, it could get a little crazy. People would play little games, do little things. Can't really do that kind of shit. Like, here's the NFT, pay me, and that's it. But yeah, man, I'm excited for Cornucopias for so many different reasons. But just if you've played some of the games that I've played and you've seen the communities that rise up around them in last decades, then when you see what's happening with Cornucopias, I always like to call it Copy or Corn.
It's fine.
But it's just easier. It's like the word liquidity. I'd rather just say liquid. But it's like when you see everything that's coming to fruition now, all the stuff coming together step by step by step, and you realize this isn't like a fad play for a year or two. This is literally laying the groundwork for something that's going to span decades and continue to grow. And I'm just like, all of the shit that we're seeing now, 1,300 ADA for a large legendary NFT, that isn't going to be shit in another year. These are probably going to 10x themselves over time, as you guys continuing laying down stuff down and like you know the functionality. Anyway, I'll stop rambling. I'm just thinking of perspective for people.
No, it's a good point. But what we're doing is we're trying to make the game as most accessible as possible. So it will be played on different levels. That some levels are invisible to others. So, for example, the game is free to play, and the land plots themselves, they actually form part of what we call the infrastructure. You know, without those land plots being active and what the owners build on them, those are being used by all the players. So the free players can come on and they can start like crafting on people's land. They'll be able to come on and do farming on people's land and rent properties on there. So all that will happen. And people will be able to get stuff using in-game currency. And then as they learn more about how, well, actually, maybe I want to become a landowner, or I want to earn some of the assets within the game, then they can start learning about true ownership and then almost like ascend from being a traditional Web 2 gamer into this world of Web3 gaming, which eventually will just be called gaming, because we can see a lot of mainstream games, you know, looking deeply into this.
You know, I don't know if you guys have thought of this yet, or if it's even in the game or not, but you know what I would build to help landowners in this game if I were you. But I would build some sort of system that enables landowners who aren't going to be able to be active on a consistent basis for whatever reason, be able to hire property managers to do whatever's necessary.
Yeah, we're working on that tech.
Beautiful. And then I just saw Darko, who's an asshole, by the way. Total troll. Give us some alpha about Juggernaut chips. No, I'm just kidding. He's the guy I was just telling you about. He's like, you have a Juggernaut? I bought like 9 of them, dude. And you know, and I'm like, oh, cool, because you're the first person I've even heard about these things from. So yeah, I guess is there any alpha about Juggernaut chips and why I don't have one?
Well, I mean, Juggernaut ships are absolutely huge. They have like 16 massive containers on the side of them, and they're built for moving goods from one world to another. And yeah, they're gonna be fun.
Like cargo ships in Eve.
Probably, yeah. They're absolutely massive when you see them, and when you come into the landing bay, because people will have. There's 2 ways of getting around the game. You can either have your own NFT, which is a ship, and you'll be able to fly yourself, or you'll be able to use kind of like public transport. So we'll have both methods. So you know, so depending how you enter the game, you'll be able to use either or. But then, yeah, we're going to be moving not just people around, but cargo as well, and you know, some people might capture some of these creatures, and yeah, we'll have all kinds of containers.
Hey Rob, I've got one big question for you, man. When build? The
game has actually been live in pre-alpha 24/7 for over 2 years now. So we're constantly doing builds. But I think I'm
not talking about your builds. I'm talking about when do I build on the land I'm getting next week.
Well, before what we're actually working on the apartment release, and the apartment release is coming very, very soon. So before the end of the year, and everybody will get a free apartment. So that's everybody. You don't have to pay for it. You get a free apartment. But we've also got an apartment sale coming on. So if you want a premium, something bigger, with those apartments, they come with 500 different types of things that you can build within your apartment. So a little bit of in-game currency. You can go in there, build them up. So you'll be able to build within your apartment by the end of the year. And we also have crafting, so you'll be able to craft stuff as well, which is another form of building. Obviously, go out, gather the raw goods, bring them back, craft them with a crafting station, and then put some of those in your apartment. So all that is coming this year. That's within the apartments, and that same technology is going to be used for the land themselves. And then in the future, next year, they'll also be able to use that building technology on the custom dome. So it's a lot closer than when you asked last time, and you will get to see some of that, maybe even behind the scenes in the next few weeks.
So when will I be able to build up, like, you know, like buildings and stuff like that, shops and things to conduct business on the land? So
we're working on, like I say, we're working on that tech now. So if it's not by the end of this year. It will be by Q1 next year when we release the actual. When we transition from pre-alpha to the actual alpha version. So it's coming within the next months, very, very soon.
All right. So next week I'm going to be able to build on my land. That's good.
Maybe internally, if we give you an internal.
Maybe internally. Okay. Hey, I'll take that, because that's going to be big for content creators. I'm telling you. And one of the things that everybody's always asking about, it's like, of course you have all these NFTs and there's all this great stuff, but the token price isn't moving, right? And I'm like, nothing is moving. It's not just this token. It's like literally every token is moving. I mean, it's up 46%, as of late, but it's just like everybody's, I mean, my own projections for this obviously are nowhere near close. And it's interesting because I feel like only the highly manipulated assets in the market are moving or have been moving in any substantial way over the past year, even though, like, for example, Cardano is up substantially. I mean, it's still in the top 10 market cap. You know what I mean? It's been moving. It's just, we haven't seen, $2 yet, or we haven't broken all-time high yet. And what's funny is like the most highly manipulated assets broke their all-time high during the bear market when volume was low. I wonder how that happened. But besides that, like, what do you think about like where we're at in the market? I mean, obviously you've had your head down building, but what are your thoughts on the overall market economy right now, and just how everything seems to be dragging out, taking longer? Everything seems to be extended. Like, do you have any impressions or thoughts on like where we're going or what you think is going on?
Well, I mean, yeah, we're a game that does have a cryptocurrency token with it, the COPI token, COPI, and we're on a couple of decentralized and centralized exchanges. The utility that we're giving for that, we have a tokenomics paper that's available in our Discord and on our website. So I'm not going to talk about price predictions or anything like that, but what we're doing is that token is built into our game, alongside kind of like the in-game currency, like I say. But in terms of general market, nothing to do with our token, just in general. I mean, we see it's been extremely volatile over the last decade or so, as you know, as the industry has been crying out for regulations in terms of Bitcoin, and those now seem to be coming forward. So I think it looks like there's a complete movement into decentralized currencies, and some countries look like they want to get involved and be backed and with stable coins and Bitcoin and all that kind of good stuff. But yeah, I concentrate about talk about more like the game and the building side. I leave the token and the game tokenomics to Josh and the other side of the team. So
well, I know one of the big use cases initially for the COPI token is buying ad space within the game world, which I think is actually a really cool thing. And I think that alone is going to be substantial once things really get kicked off. I know there was one or two with me on there. I saw one recently with Dap Central on there, and just basically like a lot of the Cardano influencers. And I'm like, that's so cool. But then I'm like looking around and I'm thinking, the same with like EVE Online, really. Like, you're flying around, you're going to a hub somewhere, and like you're flying into Jeddah, and there are all these like digital billboards in space that are like advertising the different guilds and different products and things that people are putting out. And I'm like, it like when that starts kicking off, I really think that those are going to be in high demand. Not only that, but think of the number of people that bought land in Sandbox just so that they could like put their logo on the stupid pixel map, right?
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, and it's.
But you will be able to use the COPI token within our marketplace. That that's major utility for the token, and also as we have our own nodes which are supporting the downloading of the game. So when you download the game, you don't download them from AWS. You download them from decentralized node holders, and those node holders are rewarded with the Kopi token. And what we're going to do with landowners is that landowners, as they play throughout the season, they'll be earning reward points, and people doing other types of games within the ecosystem, whether you're doing hot zone running, or whether you're playing rumble ball, or whether you're gathering, or aero trails, or leaderboard, any leaderboard activity, you'll be earning, which is what we're calling RP points, which is like reward points, and those reward points will go towards earning some of the Kopi token, just like node holders work at the moment. So the token is being fully integrated within the game, and especially within kind of like the marketplace, a bit like how V-Bucks works for like Fortnite.
Would you say that the Kopi token is going to be more like gold in World of Warcraft, where, you know, if somebody crafts something and then they sell it on the marketplace, they're taking
within the game itself, there's going to be an in-game currency, so you won't be using the token itself within the game, but it'll be used within the marketplace, and used to buy the NFTs and like I say, get rewarded outside. Because what we have to do, we have to find this balance between kind of Web 2 and Web 3, where at the moment, because of all still the regulations, if we go on something like Steam doesn't want people using NFTs and tokens within their economy. So what we do is we build this layer where those that have NFTs can still be rewarded in different ways, but when you're in the Steam ecosystem, it's all run with the, you know, the in-game currency. So we have to stay within the boundaries of where the you know, the ecosystem is at the moment. How these,
I find it interesting that Steam is trying to thwart like the progress into
for them, you know, we're still in these regulations are not 100% clear yet, and there's still this change period. You know, everything's new, and some people, you know, they jump in both feet and they accept cryptocurrencies. For others, they need to be persuaded. Others have never heard of it. Some other people hear about, you know, scams and they get influenced by that. You know, without knowing the full facts. So it's
true. I understand that. People. I definitely understand that. When you're talking about one of the biggest gaming marketplaces out there, I could see them wanting to be cautious, especially while regulation and, you know, like some of these new bills and acts and things are in the process. So I understand that. Yes, you can still claim land until next week when you can still claim land right now.
But if you look at some of the big games out there, what all this of people trading and trading accounts, that's happened, you know, for decades and decades. But what happens with that is if the game owners find out, they ban you because they don't want you to sell your account. And then some people, like you say, they might have ships and everything that they bought or earned in game, and then they go and sell their own account. But in between selling their own account from one person to the other, you know, they send over their username and their password, and then they kind of hold the breath and hope that the money comes the other way. You know, that there's so much scams that happen in real world gaming. It's unbelievable. But one of the powers of using the blockchain and how we built our game from Web3 up is we're going to encourage people to trade their assets, and we're going to provide secure systems that's guaranteed the transaction is going to happen. It's fully traceable, and a lot of the scams that happen within the Web2 traditional world, they're not possible because we're building in the safety nets in game. Of course, Web3, just like anything else, is surrounded by all these scammers. So that's why we're going to make sure and make it as simple as possible, so people know that when they're playing and when they're trading, everything is going to be secure and locked down as we can.
Okay, I get it. I'm always caught in the situation where I want to just like dive in and do everything that interests me personally. And I'm like,
yeah, well, that's the whole idea. You choose your own adventure.
Right.
It'll be different for everyone.
My favorite books as a kid.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure. That's my jam.
Ian Livingstone and Peter Jackson.
Yeah. Were those Peter Jackson?
Some of them were, yeah. They collaborated together. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's
Yeah,
been obviously
I grew up with some of
decades
them.
since I've even seen one, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Do you want to go to page 4, or do you want to go to page 25,
right.
and then you go there and come back? Yeah,
And then you have to like drop your
you
pencil
go
on
up.
the little
Yeah,
graph with the numbers for damage and
that's
stuff.
how I started. But one of the very first games I wrote when I was about 12 on like the ZX Spectrum was based on one of those books. I thought, you know what, if I can turn this book into a computer game, that would be really fun. That's
Yeah.
literally how I got started.
And then we had Zork Chronicles, or Zork. That was my second big thing, man, on my Commodore. I loved Zork. Yeah. That was one of the first novels I convinced my mom to buy me this book at like Kmart or something. I don't even remember how old I was. I was super young. She's like, you're not going to read it. You're not going to read it. That was like the first book I ever read through cover to cover was Zork, because there were so many references to this game I loved, and it just kept me going. And I've actually looked into, like, I wonder what it would cost to buy like the Zork IP, because nobody's doing shit with it. And I would love to see that come back to life in some cool way, especially nowadays. But you know, I can't even remember who owns it. I think it's like EA or something. And it's like, why don't you guys do something with it? I know it's a big company that owns it, and I'm sure they have no interest.
Good luck getting that off them then. I mean, somebody recently bought Commodore. So
I know, dude, it brought me to tears, man. I was explaining it to my wife, and I'm all teary-eyed and everything, and she's looking at me like, "What the hell's wrong with you?" I'm like, that was my childhood. Commodore was my childhood. I had no friends. I lived in the hood. I walk outside, I'm getting jumped by 10 kids. I lived my life in my room on my Commodore. And that was, you know, and it was a big deal for my mom to buy that. I was just telling everybody the other day, I'm like, she made payments from a yard sale. She bought that Commodore for me at a yard sale, made payments, $340. I'll never forget it.
Which one was it? The 64?
The SX64, the one with the tiny little 4-inch screen or whatever.
With a little tape deck.
Yep. And it was like, it was portable. Like the lid was the keyboard. It folded, you put it down on the desk, had a little storage.
Oh, right.
Yeah, man. I mean, and it's like I watched that guy's video, and I've watched quite a few since then. Like when he first announced it, I'm like, oh my God, are you kidding me? Is this for real? Yeah. And then the final video, he's like, we already had a lot of this shit lined up before I even announced it, because I didn't want to toy with people. And I'm like, of course you did. That makes all the sense.
Well, I started on the ZX Spectrum. Well, I had an Oric 1 to begin with, but last Christmas I actually got a Spectrum Plus 2. It's actually up there.
What's the Spectrum?
The ZX Spectrum.
I don't even know what that is.
Whoa! Let me step back.
Oh, that's what the hell?
This is this was the not the one I got was just like a rubber keyboard, but then this one came later on with the actual, you know, built in.
What is the tape deck for?
That's how you play the game. The games
were on cassette decks, cassettes like that.
Yeah.
I've never seen that in my life.
Really?
Never.
Well, this is actually, here we go. This is how they used to come. Where's the camera? Match Day 2.
What the hell?
And then some people used to go to the library and copy them, which I, don't recommend that. But actually, another reason why I actually started programming, because you used to get all these Commodores and you used to get the Spectrum magazines, and then some of them used to come with these little poke cards. So those would come on the cover. So this is like Enduro Racer. Mm-hmm. And then on the back of them, if you have a look in BASIC on the camera, I don't know if that'll pick that up.
It looks like code. It's hard to tell, but
it is code. Yeah. I don't
really. What is the code for?
So it's a cheat. So if you look at that, it says.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah. So you could have cheats. So you could have unlimited lives on them. So I had all these magazines and all these poke codes, and I wrote in all these different cheats. But then I wanted to take it to a next level. So I built a system on top of that where you'd have a menu, what game you play in, and press 1 to play this game. So it was a bit like choose your own adventure kind of. That's how my whole programming started, building games and yeah,
creating cheat codes
stuff like these.
That is insane.
As a kid, I would have loved to have a +2, but I could never afford to have a +2. But yeah, I got that for Christmas.
Wow, man.
But yeah, but then you know what? The thing with getting that for Christmas is then how do you play it? Because modern TVs
You have to have a TV.
Yeah, they are Scarleys. So you have to go and get adapters and make them, compatible. It's quite funny.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I mean, luckily mine came with a little 4-inch monitor that you could see with a magnifying glass.
Yeah.
But you know what? Back then it was big to me. So,
the size of these are tiny now.
Right.
We don't do screens this. I mean, yours got like a 50-inch TV, don't you?
Yeah, the one that you see is actually the big was that 59-inch? It's like one of those big 50. Dude, carrying that thing weighs as much as a person.
How big was the box? You could get it through your house.
Dude, it's the base for it probably weighs 50 pounds. I mean, it's insane. And like yeah, I mean it's a flat monitor.
No, I mean the weight of it.
Oh yeah, dude, it's huge. And like it comes with a box that you plug everything into. And you don't even plug the stuff directly into the monitor. It plugs into this box. And I had 2 remotes with it. And it was like a big treat for myself. And that's like my trading monitor. Like that's where I do a lot of my trading and charting and all that. But yeah, dude, like I am definitely getting some of those Commodores. I'm just kind of waiting. I'm waiting a little bit.
I'm a big retro fan, and it's good that retro's coming back nowadays. I'm all over that.
Well, we needed something to replace bell bottoms. Like that was cool.
They're coming back
again. My wife just stopped wearing those like 6 months ago, I think. So
yeah. I mean, it won't be long before lumberjack tops are coming back, and then I'll be able to dig into.
Hey, man, I'll be in style again. That'll be nice. Yeah. My wife always jokes with me that when we met, I used to have a faux hawk, and all I would wear like affliction shirts and buckle jeans, and she's like, I had to pull you out of that shit, or you'd have been locked in forever. And it's funny because we meet people all the time, and like they're still the same style from like
you don't check. You crave for it. I still wear my Doc Martens. I love Doc Marten boots.
Yeah, I've never owned a pair.
I got my first official pair because I always had like cheap versions. Maybe about 6 or 7 years ago, I paid £140 for them.
Yeah,
which is the most I've ever paid for a pair of boots. They're brilliant.
It's funny you say that. My wife is so like when we first met and we started getting serious. She had a Nokia flip phone,
a Nokia,
and it
Nokia,
took everything.
Nokia, yeah,
Nokia. And it took everything to get her like to try an iPhone. Right now, she swears by the iPhone, and we've had every kind of vehicle you can think of, man. Like nice, super nice, like whatever. And she does not want to drive anything but her Jeep anymore. She loves her Jeep. Shoes, all the like, dude. When I cashed out in 2021, man, I got her a nice couple pair. Actually, when we moved to Puerto Rico, got her the Louis Vuitton boots, and just she's got a couple different pair. She wears her Doc Martens. She doesn't give a shit. She'll wear those things when she's out with me, but outside of that, she wears her Doc Martens. Yeah. She's an interesting character. She doesn't care about all that stuff. She's got her way, and and I'm like, cool. It's cheaper for me. I don't have to buy expensive shit to keep her happy. She's just like, get me a dance floor, my Doc Martens, and my Jeep.
Yeah, they're built to last. Good pair of boots.
Built to last.
I thought Americans are like a good pair of boots. Pair of boots and a Stetson.
Yeah, if I wore a Stetson, that would make me about 8 feet tall, and I just don't think I want that kind of attention. Yeah. So what are some of the latest things people can really start expecting, like maybe in the next week, 2 weeks, that maybe you guys have under the hood you haven't announced or talked much about yet, just to get everybody a little pumped up?
Yeah, well, I mean, the apartments are coming, so people will be able to go in and start building their apartments. So they'll complete empty shells. We've got over 500 different objects that you'll be able to get with in-game currency, and then decorate your apartment. We've got the rift battles coming, so people at the moment have the shooting ranges where you can go and trial all that and get good with your shot and shoot a few droids actually that fly up. So rifts are going to open, the robots are going to come through, people are going to go raiding. We've got the gathering system that's coming, so you'll be able to go around and harvest from all the various bushes, and that's all part of the crafting. Take all that back to either within the village or in your own land, hopefully this year, and craft those into whatever item you want. So that's all coming. We have the RP system where, like I say, you'll be able to go around the game, earn various, not quite XP, but very similar RP points, and then participate in the various leaderboards, and you'll be rewarded with either NFTs or Kopi token. The performance that we just released in the last build, so DLSS was in there, and we've already got a really amazing performing UE 5.6, which is the latest Unreal Engine version. So a really high performing game. With DLSS, that's now pushing the video cards onto a whole new level of performance, and the game, which looked amazing before, looks absolutely ridiculously good now and performs really well. You know, we're over 100 FPS at 4K. And
what kind of hardware are you going to need to run it, though?
So we have there's a minimum spec of 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So if you've got a NVIDIA 2060, for example, I think that's the lowest. That's an entry card. It's quite an old card. So anything above 2060, people play on laptops, and like I say, with the release of DLSS, laptops have got a whole new boost now. Some people before that were only maybe getting 40, 50 FPS, which is still not too bad for a laptop, because remember, these are really low power. They're now getting 80 to 100 FPS on a laptop, and really low power, which is incredible. And we have FSR, which is another non-NVIDIA version that's coming out in the next build. So that encompasses between DLSS and FSR, that covers maybe 95% of laptops and PCs available. So it really is, you can play at a really high performing level, and the game has never looked so good. It's performing amazingly, because we didn't just build and then think about performance later on. We optimized from day one for Unreal Engine 5, and the proof's in the pudding. Anybody can download it. It's free to download. And
I mean, I was just running around in there the other day, and there are two things that I would love to address. Just food for thought. Number one, the day-night cycle. When it's nighttime, I can't see anything, no matter what.
We're working on that. We're working.
And then the other thing is navigation. There's, you know what? I'm glad I actually have you on, because there's one thing that I really wanted to bring up. I was going to send it to you in a message. I'll just I'll tell you now. So one of the things that I really think would be huge in this game, considering how vast and huge and big it is, and people are going to have, whether they're apartment shops or storefronts on their land or on their custom domes. One thing that I think Ultima Online did super, super well was the idea that you could, like maybe in Cornucopias, they're maps instead of runes. Do you remember those in UO, where you could go somewhere and be like, you know what, I want to add this to my address book. And then you just, cast a little magic spell, make a rune, throw it in your book, and all you have to do is click it in your rune book, and it just ports you there. That would be amazing. Like, you have to be there, or somebody else would have had to have been there, because I can see people using stuff like that, making those, distributing them out, almost like business cards. Like, this is what I make here. If you want to come here on a regular basis, let me add my address to your map, and then people can just click places on a map and port there. And I think that would be helpful in a multitude of ways, because it kind of speeds things up. People are able to get from A to B without having to spend hours traveling all the time. But also, I would think it would be a lighter load on servers too, especially if you get to the point where you've got like 100,000 people or whatever, because you don't have all of that throughput, from traveling, all these people traveling long distances. But I didn't know if that was something that was ever.
Yeah, I mean, we're resisting fast travel to an extent, because I think there is there is something in exploring a world, and if you fast travel, you miss out on a lot of that. And sometimes, because we internally can with our mod menu, we can fast travel, and it does take away some of the magic, because you move to some place, you do something, and you quickly get bored. I think when you actually have to travel and you have to go through the public transport, or you have to go on the metro, or you have to fly with your vehicles, that immerses you in the game a lot more. I mean, there is maps, and in the future we will be introducing tasks and quests, and there'll be NPCs that'll help you and guide you around the game, because I think that's one of the things that we're really lacking at the moment, is we do have quite a bit to do within the game, but it's quite hard for people to actually know where they are in the world. Or you can bring the map up, but how to get started and how to be introduced. I mean, obviously we're pre-alpha, so people are accustomed to games that have been built for 8-9 years and have all these guidance systems in place.
Sure.
We know it's really important, and so that's kind of where we rely a little bit on the community. When somebody comes in, they're fresh to the game, the community will go, oh, do you want us to come and show you some of the things? So if people are part of the community and come via that route, then they do get a kind of like a nice introduction to the game. But those that just come in fresh, we do understand that at the moment those guidance systems are not in there, but they are coming, and they will be here next year. It's a main priority.
Okay. All right. So here for maybe 5 minutes or so, let's anybody in the chat, because there's about 700 people. Anyone in chat that wants to ask a question, now is your time. Speak now or forever hold your peace. I see one question here. David Massa, I was one of your mobile testers years ago. Are you ever planning to bring it back?
Yeah, I mean, when we started, we were a little bit too ambitious. So we had a fully mobile game. We released it. We had some feedback, and we realized that the mobile game was not at the same graphical look and feel as the PC game. So we didn't, because we knew that was likely to be the first release. We didn't want people to look at the mobile game in kind of like this 2D form, look at the gameplay and think, well, actually, this is not really what I thought the game was going to be, and then get put off. But so we pulled that back, although it did take a good 9 months development on that, and we learned quite a lot with that. But what we are doing is that mobile is really important to us. That is going to be an aid in the future. So when you're running some of your land or some of the other activities within the game, what we want to do is tie that in with the mobile, so you can still keep in touch with what's happening in the game, even when you're out and about and not on the PC. So the mobile is going to become really important, especially if you're like a landowner, maybe you've got more than one property. It's going to be quite hard to see what's going on without logging into the game. So mobile is definitely going to be one of those ways where that will actually enhance the game.
Okay, nice. What the strange cube, is that still out there?
No, that was a mistake. This is pre-alpha. So what happens is, as you're developing the game, with the Unreal Engine, it's quite common to get a cube, just a random cube, put it somewhere in the map, call it Rob's cube or whatever you want to call it, and then when you open up the engine, you can search for Rob. You can go straight to that part in the map, and then you can carry on doing whatever you're doing. The mistake was that cube should have been invisible, should have had collision turned off, but for one build it was accidentally left in. But it's a feature, not a bug. But
okay.
It's gone now. It's quite funny.
What are the use cases for the tree NFTs? I haven't
trees NFTs, yeah. Tree NFTs. The NFT to tree, that was a mint that we did a few years ago, and all the ADA that was raised for that went towards Veritree, and they built planted real trees in real life. And even now, all the secondary sales of those trees that happen go to plant more trees in the world. So we planted probably over 200,000 trees in the world, and I think the mint was only 2 acre at the time. But that also helped us to build our marketplace, to test. We wanted lots of people coming in, so we used it to build those trees, but also to, like I say, to help build our tech. But obviously now that the game wasn't live then, now that the game is here, then yes, those trees will be useful in the game, and we will share that utility in the future. I can't give you an exclusive at the moment, but they will.
Of course not. You never do. Damn it. When key bindings?
Key binding is on the roadmap. That will probably come next year. I mean, yeah, we know that's important as well.
Okay.
We just take them off one by one.
Yeah. Question: is the Bourne and Lee handgun and the 4-barrel shotgun available in game yet? If not, when can we expect it?
In the next build.
In the next build? When is the next build?
Within the next few weeks. I'd like to say 30 days.
30 days. Okay. Work on a starting zone or maybe a story to have some sort of inspiration to actually play the game. It is boring to walk around aimlessly. I mean, it's freaking pre-alpha. What do you want?
Yeah, it's pre-alpha. I mean, you can go and play Rumble Ball. You can go and collect holo caches. You can go in the shooting range. You can
shoot robots.
You can go and choose land. Yeah, I mean, there's aero trails. You can go on the leaderboard. So yeah, I mean, it is pre-alpha. It takes a lot to build this game. You know, we're only a small team. We're not like a Bethesda with thousands of developers. Our team is less than 50. But I think what we've built so far, I think if people actually seen our journey or see what we've delivered in just a few years, I think we're punching way above our weight.
For sure. That sounds bad, but you are. I mean, it's a huge undertaking for a small group. I'm curious, have any major groups tried to like step in and say, hey, we're going to buy you out. Can we take over? Not anything like that. Just curious. No. Interesting.
Well, we're not for sale.
Well, yeah, that's of course not. But you know, it's not gonna stop someone from trying. What is the minimum number of users you expect in the next 1 to 3 years?
Next 1 to 3 years. Well, we are currently in the application side of Steam. So once we're live on Steam and then on Epic Games, I mean, the world's our oysters. That we will, you know, in 3 years from now, we're hoping to have, you know, over 1 million players. And we, you know, as a live service game that is constantly evolving and being updated by ourselves and with community feedback, you know, I think we've got the perfect recipe there to have a really addictive ongoing game and because people actually, it sounds strange, but because you actually own your own land and you own these assets, it means a lot more to you. You know, if somebody pops up in your district and is building next to you, you this sense of community and building together, it is different than playing. But I mean, saying that, you've played these multiplayer games before, and even when you didn't own them, you know, you do have a sense.
You at least still feel entitled to them.
Yeah, you do. now imagine if you owned that land.
Right.
It goes on to a whole new level.
If I own multiple lands, can I play on more than one, handle activities, and maximize XP on each land?
I mean, it depends how much time you've got, but yeah, absolutely. You can come in, do a little bit on one plot, and then maybe go on to another plot, or you know, come in one day and do one for another. What we'll have each season is the lands themselves. They will have their own seasonal level that'll start at like level 0 or level 1 and go up to level 100. So when you've achieved that level 100, that's when you're going to get your maximum Copa rewards for that season. So then if you want, you can move on to another land plot, or you know, you can build them all up together.
Can you level land up and then sell it at a higher level at a profit?
I mean, I don't want to talk about profit or anything like that, but what you can definitely do is your land
is it potentially more valuable to a player?
That, I mean, that's subjective to the player and the market themselves. But what I can definitely say is,
stick with the land as it moves.
Yes, whatever you build, let's call it sweat, whatever sweat or whatever you put on those land, that is not NFTs. So and everything is built with in-game currency. So so you build up your walls, your buildings, and those kinds of stuff. Everything that comes with the land, as soon as you sell that NFT, that then transfers with the NFT. So yeah, so the new owner gets everything that you've done. So if you want to build up an entire huge massive copious plant with all these different production lines and all this kind of stuff, and it's earning so much in-game currency, and it's really then yeah, that will have some inherent value to somebody somewhere.
If regulations and like some of these new laws and the new regulations were to make things so that it was much more clear, and makes sense, could you see Cornucopias using the Copy token for more within the community over an additional like in-game kind of like a gold asset or something? Or like, is it regulation that's really kind of keeping that at bay right now? And are there plans to maybe adopt or change that? I guess you'd call it a policy.
Well, I mean, we are looking to add utility to the Copy token, as much as we can. And if new opportunities arise in the future, we'll definitely be adding that utility to them. But yeah, like I said, I'm not the best person to ask about the token. Yeah. You can ask me about the game.
I got you.
Yeah, too many people will be flagging me if I say the wrong thing. So yeah.
Okay, fair enough. I won't push you. I don't want to put you in any kind of sticky situation. I get what you're saying. You're like the game side dev. You're not like the economics guy.
Indeed.
Can we get like a big sale so the team can expand from 50 to 5,000 people?
Well, I mean, we have. Yeah, I mean, we have
You've grown quite a bit over the last few years.
We have ongoing sales, yeah. So currently you can go to our marketplace. If you go to cornucopias.io and click on the marketplace button, we do have some items for sale. They don't cost much. Some are as little as $5. Some of the vehicles do go up to maybe 100, but then we have an apartment sale coming on. So if in the very near future, so if you want to support us, and definitely, as we've seen over the last few years, every dollar that we've raised has gone back into building this game, and you can see that with our output. We're constantly we're constantly in Discord talking. Josh and myself, we do a weekly podcast. We're up to now episode 141 that went live today. So that's weekly. So that's 141 weeks. So that's over 2 years of us every week coming and talking, So we invest every bit of revenue that we get, we invest back in the team. And our team is absolutely incredible. They work 7 days a week. The output is unbelievable. And what we've got coming just this year, if you have a look at our roadmap that's on our website, you can see what we're aiming to deliver this year alone. And then next year, when we go to alpha and we've listed on Steam and Epic, the roadmap never finishes, because we've got so many plans for so much stuff that's coming. Every 6 months or so, you don't really recognize the game, and especially this last 6 months with DLSS and some of the features that we've built in it is unbelievable. We're so happy with the progress of the game. But I understand people's frustrations, because they're used to mainstream games that they haven't realized it's taken 8 to 10 years. Or look at GTA. I mean, they've got thousands of developers and like 2 billion that they've gone into that. Building multiplayer games is hard, and it does take a long time. But we're doing this a different way. We're doing it out in the public, in the open. You've seen us from day one to year 4 now. And yeah, come along for the journey, because it's been brilliant. But you do have to have a little bit of patience. But you are seeing how games are built.
But nothing worth having comes overnight or easy. I mean, this is. I really think that this is going to continue taking more and more shape over the years to become even grander than I think is noticeable now. I really do. But I've kind of felt that way since the beginning. One last question, and then we'll let everybody go back to their lives and claim in their land. Is the whole game going to be guns, or will there ever be sword and board D&D style gameplay?
Yeah. I mean, hello, Think Tank. I know Think Tank. I've actually spoken to him. We're quite close to a lot of our community, but the guns and the combat. If you look at other MMO games, if you look at, say, New World, combat does play an important part of the game. It's part of getting some of the resources. So guns is a part of the MMO game, but that's only a small part. We're going to have farming, we have fishing, we have crafting, we have land building, we have apartment building, we have the whole gathering system, we have the whole economics that goes on, and like we spoke about before, you can choose your own adventure. If you just want to go fishing all day, you can do that. If you do like the combat side of it and raids, then you can go into that part. We'll have safe parts of the game. We'll have something for everyone. You know, we've got a little mini soccer game in there. We have a jetpack game. We've got more of these little mini experiences that are coming along. So you can literally do something different every single day. You can everything that you do in there will contribute towards your seasonal rewards and eventually your player progression. So yeah, combat and guns, they're an important small part, but only one of the let's say the Trivial Pursuit wedges towards building your whole.
I think he's saying. I think he's specifically asking more like, okay, there's gun combat, but are we going to have any kind of more fantasy style combat? Swords and shields, and magic, and anything like that.
Yeah, Josh often tells me off for that. You know, for answering the question, a completely different question that was being asked.
That's what he meant by sword and board. It's the sword and shield.
Sorry, yeah, I thought you were just talking about guns and combat. Yeah, we'll have different types of melees. Definitely.
Okay.
That was easy to answer, actually.
That was a lot easier to answer than the first one you were going for.
Yeah.
Rob, man, it's always a pleasure. I really appreciate you coming on, and hopefully we've answered some more questions for people and just giving everybody more and more to get excited about. If you haven't claimed your land yet, I don't know what the hell you're waiting on. Go. I still have quite a few NFTs on other wallets. I still have to go find. I don't even know where the hell they are. I want to go gobble up as much as I can. And yeah, I will we'll see you again real soon with some more updates, of course, as things unfold about Cornucopias. But if you want to really stay in tune and in touch with what's going on with this huge metaverse, make sure you join their Discord, get involved with the community, go in there and get recruited by the Corn Guild, the Corn Mafia. Isn't that what they're called? Is it the Corn Mafia?
There's a few guilds in there.
There's a few guilds in there.
You don't have to join a guild to enjoy the game.
You don't have to join a guild, but you're probably gonna. So you might as well do it in their Discord. And go. You know what I would say? Go and communicate with people. Find the people that you click with the most, and then if they're a part of the guild, then maybe you can sign up. And if not, I have really no plans on joining a guild personally. I'm more of a loner. I feel like I would rather. It's kind of like when I was a kid and I worked at Pageport. We sold pagers and cell phones to all the different gangs, all the different groups, like we weren't a part of any of them, but we had friends in all of them. It was just kind of how you work. So until next time, until next time, guys, thanks for joining us. Grow your coins, and we'll see you again real soon.
Bye-bye.